Hello and a very warm welcome. I am Gusheen Garland and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. We begin with India-Pakistan tensions. Pakistani troops violated the ceasefire along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir for the 12th consecutive night. Meanwhile, New Delhi has stepped up security, directing all states to conduct mock drills for civil defense on Wednesday. India has also test-fired an advanced underwater naval mine to boost the Navy's warfare capabilities. In West Asia, Israel's Security Cabinet has approved a plan to expand its military operations against Hamas. Reports say the plan includes gradually occupying all of Gaza and holding it indefinitely if no ceasefire deal is reached. The plan would be implemented after US President Donald Trump's visit to the West Asian nation next week. Meanwhile, the Israeli military launched airstrikes targeting Houthis in Yemen on Monday. At least 6 strikes hit the port of Hodeidah, while another attack caused a huge fire at a cement factory in Bajil district. The strikes came a day after Houthis fired a ballistic missile at Israel's main airport for the first time. Sudan's paramilitary force RSF launched another strike on Port Sudan, targeting the airport and an army base. This is the third drone strike in 3 days by the RSF, which attacked the country's main fuel depot on Monday. The conflict between Sudan's army and the RSF has created the world's worst humanitarian crisis, which is expected to be worsened by the latest attacks. Now moving to the war in Europe, Ukraine launched an overnight drone attack on Russia, forcing the closure of more than a dozen airports. Officials said more than 100 drones targeted Russia and 19 of them were downed in Moscow. The attack comes days before Russian President Vladimir Putin is set to host several world leaders to mark the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. In a historic setback, Conservative leader Friedrich Merz failed to win election as Chancellor in the first round of voting by lawmakers. He received 310 votes, 6 short of the majority required to confirm him as the next Chancellor. The 69-year-old had expected to win a majority and succeed Olaf Scholz after winning the election in February. Canadian Prime Minister Carney has arrived in Washington to meet President Donald Trump today. Both leaders will meet in person for the first time, days after Carney won re-election on the promise of standing up to the US president. Trump has sparked a major trade war with Canada while repeatedly threatening to annex the country. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has offered a $1,000 stipend and free airline tickets to illegal migrants who sign up for self-deportation. The incentives are part of a broader effort by the federal government to push undocumented immigrants to leave the United States. Voluntary deportation also helps the US government save resources and money. Peru has suspended gold mining and imposed a curfew in the northern district of Patas. This after 13 gold mining workers were found dead in the area on Sunday. The employees had been allegedly kidnapped by illegal miners working with criminal gangs last month. And New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon has proposed banning children under 16 from social media. Such a law would force social media platforms to verify the age of users or face a fine of more than $1 million. The proposal has been modelled on that of Australia, which approved a similar law in 2024. In climate news, a powerful low-pressure system swept across the southern United States, bringing a mix of snow, hail and thunderstorms. Snow fell northwest of Flagstaff, Arizona, blanketing the area in white, while parts of Texas and Florida were pelted with severe hail. At Hubbard Creek Lane in Texas, lawns were quickly coated by hailstones, and West Palm Beach, Florida saw similar conditions with quarter-sized hail and strong winds. Hundreds of tourists were evacuated from the ancient city of Petra in Jordan. This is after sudden flash floods hit the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Heavy rainfall on Sunday forced authorities to temporarily close the site for safety. Video footage showed water rushing past Petra's iconic monuments, including the famed treasury. Jordan has seen increasing instances of extreme weather in recent years due to climate change. 2 British men have taken the UK government to the European Court of Human Rights. They are alleging that its weak response to the climate crisis violates their basic rights. Residents who suffer from heat-sensitive disabilities, including the ones whose coastal homes was destroyed by rising sea levels, argue that the UK's climate adaptation plan fails to protect vulnerable communities. The India Meteorological Department has forecast widespread rainfall, thunderstorms and hailstorms in central and western parts of the country this week. Areas like Vidarbha, Chhattisgarh, East Madhya Pradesh and Odisha are likely to be hit. While the national capital, New Delhi, saw clear skies after heavy weekend showers, the IMD also warned of high heat and humidity in southern regions. A new study published in Nature reveals that microplastics are no longer confined to ocean surfaces. They are now deeply embedded within the ocean structure, affecting marine ecosystems. Researchers found plastic particles of up to 100 meters deep in JRs, disrupting natural biogeochemical processes. Drawing from 10 years of data across 1,885 ocean sites, scientists warn the plastic crisis is far worse than previously thought. On to business and tech news now. Global stocks hold tight ranges as investors revive concerns about US tariffs and their impact on economic growth. MSCI's broadest index of Asia Pacific shares outside Japan slips 0.2%, while Taiwan stocks dropped 0.3% earlier in the day. Meanwhile, oil steadies after hitting 4-year lows as investor focus shifts to the Federal Reserve's upcoming rate decision. President Donald Trump signs executive order to expedite domestic pharmaceutical manufacturing amid tariff threats on imported drugs. The order streamlines approval for domestic plants and raises inspection fees for foreign facilities. The executive order comes ahead of Trump administration's planned tariffs on pharmaceuticals imported into the United States. Meanwhile, pharmaceutical giant Bristol Myers Squibb will invest $40 billion in U.S. operations over the next 5 years. This comes as President Trump repeatedly threatens tariffs on pharmaceutical imports on national security grounds. Berkshire Hathaway says Warren Buffett will continue to stay in as the chairman of the conglomerate. This comes after Buffett announced over the weekend that he will step down as the CEO and Vice Chairman Greg Abel will take over as the new CEO. In deal-making news, shoemaker Skechers agrees to be taken private by investment firm 3G Capital for $9.4 billion in what is footwear industry's biggest buyout to date. This comes after the company warned of a fallout from President Trump's 145% tariffs import on Chinese goods. Volvo Cars battery company Novo Energy says it will cut its workforce by 50%. This as it looks to reduce costs after evaluating its business to take account of the bankruptcy of Sweden's Northvolt, which originally co-owned the venture. Northvolt and Volvo Cars had formed Novo Energy in 2021 to build a dedicated battery factory in Gothenburg on Sweden's west coast. Moving to quarterly earnings, Ford Motor suspends its annual financial projections for this year. This as the car maker grapples with uncertainty around President Trump's tariffs. The tariffs are expected to cost the company $2.5 billion this year, mainly from vehicle imports from Mexico and China. The automaker also projects a $5.5 billion loss for its electric vehicle and software operations this year. Meanwhile, Barbie doll maker Mattel also withdraws its financial targets for this year. The company, which also makes Uno cards, says it will increase prices for some of its products in the US, as Trump administration's sweeping tariffs bump up input costs for the toy maker. OpenAI dials back its plan to restructure and well-maintain non-profit parent control over its for-profit arm. The decision comes after the ChatGPT maker faces legal challenges, including a lawsuit from co-founder Elon Musk over the company's restructuring. CEO Sam Altman says the move will allow continued fundraising while maintaining the non-profit's oversight of the for-profit entity. And Google launches new film and TV production initiative called 100 Zeros in partnership with talent and production firm Range Media Partners. The move aims to fund and co-produce projects aimed at rising Hollywood costs and potential US tariffs on foreign-made films. Google plans to reportedly sell projects to traditional studios and streamers, not distribute them through YouTube. Moving to sports, we begin with cricket. The IPL clash between Delhi and Hyderabad was washed out due to rain. Hyderabad took to field first and restricted Delhi at 133 runs. Pat Cummins struck 3 wickets. The match was abandoned due to rain as both the teams shared a point each. And with the washed-out clash against Delhi yesterday, Hyderabad got out of the playoffs race in the ongoing Indian Premier League. Hyderabad became the third team to drop out of the race after Chennai and Rajasthan. Chennai signed Gujarat wicketkeeper batter Urvil Patel as replacement for injured Vansh Bedi. The uncapped player has been invited to the Chennai camp for a mid-season trial. Previously, Urvil was part of Gujarat in the IPL 2023. India have retained their number 1 position in the ICC Men's T20 team rankings. With a rating of 271 points, the reigning T20 World Cup champions are 9 clear of second-place Australia. The past year saw the Indian men's cricket team win the T20 World Cup, followed by 3-0 sweeps over Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. India also recorded T20 series wins over England, South Africa and Zimbabwe. In football, an instinctive equaliser from Murillo gave Nottingham Forest a Premier League point in the 1-1 tie against Nottingham Forest. The point may prove to be critical for Nottingham Forest's hopes of making it to the Champions League. Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner said he is hopeful that Adam Wharton will play a FA Cup final despite an ankle injury. The midfielder suffered an injury during the Premier League clash with Nottingham Forest. Wharton was forced out of the field during the match. Trent Alexander-Arnold will leave Liverpool when his contract expires this summer. The club and England international have confirmed. The 26-year-old is expected to join Real Madrid as a free agent. Reports say Real Madrid has proposed a 6-year agreement to get the English star in its squad. In tennis, men's world number 1 Jannik Sinner is set to return from an anti-doping ban at the Italian Open. The Italian said after the first round match at the tournament, he will have a good picture of his game. Sinner said, and I quote, "It's a very strange feeling to be around with so many people and attention, but it's nice to be back," end quote. In badminton, Indian shuttler Kidambi Srikanth is set to mark his return to the game at the Taipei Open. The former world's number 1 has been struggling with injuries and inconsistent form. The current world number 61 will look to arrest his slump when he begins his campaign against compatriot Sankar Muthuswamy Subramanian. American swimmer Gary Hall Jr. received 10 new Olympic medals, which replaced his original ones destroyed in Los Angeles wildfires last year. The legendary swimmer now has 5 gold, 3 silver and 2 bronze medals he won from 1996 to 2004 in the Olympics. The medals were presented to him during a ceremony at the Olympic House in Lausanne, Switzerland. And now updates from the world of showbiz. The 2025 Met Gala officially kicked off at the Metropolitan Museum of Art with star-studded red carpet. This year's theme, Tailored for You, ties into the Costume Institute's exhibition Superfine Tailoring Black Style. It celebrates black fashion history and dandyism. Gala co-chairs include A$AP Rocky, Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton and Pharrell Williams. With over 400 celebrities in attendance, the night was a high-voltage showcase of fashion, identity and cultural pride. Bollywood icon Shah Rukh Khan made his Met Gala debut, dressed in a custom black wool coat by Indian designer Sabyasachi. The megastar embraced the global spotlight accessorized with a sparkling K and jeweled tiger cane. His understated yet bold look aligned with the event's theme, spotlighting black dandyism. According to Sabyasachi, Khan's appearance was a powerful moment for representation and authenticity on a stage dominated by Western fashion. Rapper A$AP Rocky confirmed Rihanna's third pregnancy on the red carpet of the 2025 Met Gala in New York. After Rihanna appeared with a visible baby bump, Rocky spoke to the reporter saying it felt amazing to finally share the news. As a co-chair of this year's gala, Rocky also made a statement of wearing a self-designed ensemble, fulfilling Anna Wintour's suggestion to support black designers. Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial began in New York with jury selection underway. Amid heavy media attention, potential jurors were asked to identify over 190 public figures, including Kanye West, Kid Cudi, and Mike Myers, raising questions about the trial's scope. Prosecutors allege Diddy orchestrated a 2011 car bombing targeting Cudi, who was dating Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, now a key witness. And finally, Netflix has dropped the trailer for the third and final season of its hit Korean series Squid Game. After the Season 2 cliffhanger, player 456 prepares to confront the masked frontmen one last time. Creator of the series hints at a darker, more conflicted version of the player as the deadly games escalate. Season 2 and 3 were filmed back-to-back and written as one story arc. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gushin Galan and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.